Hello and welcome to UK Horror Scene. I'm Tony, this is the crew, we're in the room and we are hanging with a young woman who's making a big splash on the UK horror scene at the moment with her film Seize the Night. It's getting rave reviews on the festival circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, Emma Dark.
Woo!
They're really nice people.
Bonjour! Calimera.
Shut up, let's go on with it. Right, Emma, your film Seize the Night.
Yes.
It's in the festival circuit at the moment, getting really good reviews.
Yes, it is.
And it's a cracking film, thankfully. I watched it, enjoyed it, and it's a bit of a relief because I don't know what I would have said to you if it was rubbish. I'm pretty sweating it. But it is a really cracking film. But
Thanks.
Tell everybody what it's about, who hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah, so it's basically a vampire and werewolf kind of tale, more on the modern side than the kind of traditional side. It's about my character, who's Eva. Basically, she's a vampire assassin, and she's been kind of locked away in a prison for a long time, years and years. And it turns out that this is by a government faction called Cable 9, who are basically humans, and they want to kind of study magical creatures like vampires, werewolves, and any other thing you can find, basically, and try and steal their powers. But she manages to break out somehow. It's not explained in the story. This is all kind of backstory stuff. And we pick up sort of a year later after she's broken out and she's been reintegrated back into her vampire coven, but she's basically gone a bit nuts. She's a bit psycho now and she just wants revenge. So that's what we pick up, and it's her story.
Did you find it easy to play that nuts? Or?
Yeah, actually.
I will talk more about the story. I just wanted to. I was like, when I was reading about it, the character name.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a fan of Spanish horror, aren't you? Because you did that crazy
yeah.
trailer, The Island of the Blind Dead,
exactly.
which is nuts. Check that out. It's bonkers. Your character Eva Harker, is that a reference to an old film, to a character from an old film? Because there's this is how nerdy I am doing my research. Probably the one piece of research I actually did. But there's a 1931 Dracula film that was made in Spanish by a director called George Melford, and there's a character in that called Eva Harker.
Oh wow!
Which is the same name that you have. And I was watching that thinking, they should be really clever and put in an Easter egg. Like,
no, it isn't.
Because she actually gets kidnapped by Dracula. I think it's Juan Harker and Eva Harker. So obviously they Spanished it. And I was watching, I wonder if that's why she did that. That's really, you should tell people that he's actually it's the same character.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same character.
That's what it did,
completely the same character. Yeah, I mean, I went back, I watched it, and I thought, I wasn't crazy about the film, but the character, so I really wanted to explore where she went afterwards. Yeah. But no, I really thought, oh damn, what a waste of research that was. But yeah, Eva Harker. I thought, that's
well, there's an obvious Dracula reference in there.
Yeah.
But the Eva thing was a take on basically a Resident Evil thing.
Okay.
Because you probably wouldn't tell off maybe one bit of the film, which we won't reveal what that is, but yeah, it's a little bit of a Resident Evil influence in there as well. So.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, one of the things, I think what I went in expecting from seeing the trailer and seeing the pictures and all that, you kind of think, well, is it going to be a bit underworldly? Is it going to be a bit Resident Evil? And it's not. It's very much its own beast.
Yeah.
Which is good itself because it feels quite natural and it feels quite original. And there's loads and loads of different storylines in there. There's lots of plot threads in there that are all planted. Which, I mean, I'm guessing you have plans for where you want to take it or where you'd like that character to go.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do. I definitely want to do more of Season 9. I mean, obviously, as you can tell, you've seen the film. There's a lot more to tell. What I'd really like to do is a series or a feature. But for that, I obviously need a considerable budget because it wasn't cheap to do this. It wasn't by any means a large budget. I mean, in most film circuits, they'd almost say that was no budget.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I can't afford. If you've got times that by how many episodes or the length of the feature, it become quite expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm guessing that even if you've done a feature, I can't imagine that the amount of stuff you've introduced in this short, and it is chock full of ideas, and you refer to a backstory, you refer to all these things, you make lots of references to other things that we don't see, and you just feel like there could be so much there that it would go far past the feature. I don't think 90 minutes would actually do it justice.
No.
Because even with what you've squeezed into what is it, the 12-minute running time, 12 and a half minutes, it just feels absolutely chock-a-block. It doesn't feel like it's overburdened. You don't feel like, they've done too much. It's just enough. But I mean, you even leave it at a point where you're thinking, oh, well, where are you going to go with this, and what are you going to do? And,
which is very much not what you do normally with shorts.
No, it's great. It's hey, Empire Strikes Back did it, right? So why not leave it out there? Do you have a specific idea of where you'd like to go, or where you'd like it to end, or do you just have like an idea of where you'd like to go next, and then maybe next, and see where the story carries you?
Yeah, I've got quite a few ideas really, but none of them have been defined. And obviously, one of the writers also is my friend Rick Humphries from America. He's a professional screenwriter, so he'd be involved in that as well and taking that to the next level. But I would really like to do a series, hopefully a TV series if it ever got budget, just because I think I'd be able to tell more of the story in each episode opposed to a feature, because as you say, you'd end up running into more than one feature eventually.
The light winks at me occasionally.
Oh, right. Didn't wonder if there was a disco.
No, it's, well, you know, we like to introduce all sorts of vibes in here, try and get the party started.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you talked about, you mentioned like Resident Evil earlier. So who would you say was your influence, your chief influence? Did you have a number of them? Was there just one particular director that you enjoyed when you were younger?
No. I mean, what for specifically for season 9?
Well, no. I mean, just for you as a filmmaker in general.
Yeah. I'd probably say my favourite director is Tarantino, which you see absolutely nothing of that in my film season 9. But maybe in something, a future kind of instalment or something, and moving more that kind of direction. But yeah. Yeah,
we spoke to Luke Brady, and he mentioned Tarantino as well, like specifically Dusk Till Dawn, which is a cracking horror film. And again, vampires, and but that's a wonderful film. No, I was just wondering if, like, I mean, because for me, I mean, like when I was growing up, I loved all sorts of films. I mean, especially genre films, and people like Carpenter.
Yeah.
John Carpenter was wonderful. He was making pretty much low budget as you had to work with, but he was making low budget films like Halloween and Escape from New York, and which were great films, and Precinct. Really winking at me now. Assault on Precinct 13. So I mean, for me, when I was growing up, I always thought, oh man, and I loved the music, and I the fact that he did his own theme music and everything. It was cracking. So it's always interesting to see where other people are coming from and what specific style they're going for, because it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, not that I felt like Season 9 was copying anything, because it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels quite original. It feels quite fresh. And obviously, you can't make a film without people saying, "Oh, it's a bit like this because it's got werewolves," or "It's a bit like that because it's got vampires." But when you're watching it doesn't feel like that at all. It actually feels, and the nice thing about it is that when it ends, you do want to find out what's happening. You do want a little bit more of it. So I mean, are there any plans in place to continue it?
Yes, there are. So absolutely, without a doubt, even if I don't get even 1p of a budget, I will be making a Season 9 Part 2 in very much a similar vein to the how I made the first instalment, really, if you like. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, ideally, I would like to get some budget, but
helps, doesn't it? Really. It's kind of nice.
Exactly.
Instead of running around getting nothing and shooting really long hours, because it always seems to be longer hours, doesn't it?
Yeah, long hours, very cold hours as well for that film.
So how long did it take you to shoot that?
I think it was about 10. Yeah, it was about 10 days of shooting, all in all. But I say days. I mean, sometimes it was full days, sometimes it was an evening.
Sometimes it all just kind of blended into each other.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Lost track of time.
Exactly. And I did have to do a couple of reshoots in that as well. So it could have been done in less time, I think, if I was more of an experienced filmmaker. Yeah. But as I say, that's my first proper film, really. So it was all a massive learning curve, and I did take a lot on, really, with that. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it must have been a great learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, and are you very happy with the way it turned out? I mean, was it
the
same as what you expected it to be?
No.
But is it better though? I mean, like when you looked at the final product, you think actually it looks much better than I thought.
Different. I mean, I had different kind of ideas in my head about exactly how I wanted it. But again, when it actually comes down to it, on the day you find something goes wrong, you've lost your lighting or something's happened,
lighting.
Or time's running out, so you haven't got time to do something out the way you wanted to do it. So and budget as well.
Yeah, that's the hardest bit. I mean, did you have an actual budget for it, or was it like coming out of your own pocket?
Most of it came out of my own pocket. I did do a crowdfund.
Yeah.
But although it did quite well, I only raised about 1,400 or something, which
bad though.
And it's not bad, and I'm sure other people could go and make a short and have 2 shorts, But for the kind of thing I was trying to make, it cost a lot more than that in the end. So the total budget's about £5,000, and the rest come out of my pocket. So, Yeah, this is why I can't just go, because everyone's like, oh, when's the next one coming up? When's the next one?
Yeah,
But if you just go do this all the time, you know.
It'd be broke.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've had quite an interesting path to filmmaking, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because you came from modelling.
I did. Yeah.
And I know you've probably told the story 100,000
Yeah.
times. But you came from modelling, and then
Yes.
did you do a music video or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was a bit strange because one of my friends, he's got a band called X-Kim, and he said to me, "Oh, I need somebody in this music video I'm doing. Would you like to be in it?" And then he said basically, "Oh, yeah, you can sing, can't you? Would you like to sing in it as well?" So then I sort of fell into this band. I was in a couple of videos for X-Kim. But you can't do something like a band, filmmaking, all that sort of stuff. It's insane, you know. So unfortunately, I'm not in the band anymore, but Carl's carried on, he does amazing music. But yeah, I was in a couple of videos for that, and I think it was after that actually, I was in a Kim Wilde music video, horror music video, so that was a good experience. And kind of from that point onwards, I thought, okay, the modern is fun, you get great pictures, but it's kind of boring. You just stood around and stuff, and all the creativity is with the photographer, not really you. So, you know, it's not that satisfying in creative terms.
So being as you're a singer, maybe Seize the Night the musical? You know, maybe, what the heck, I'm going to bite your neck. I'll write the lyrics.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sure it's easy, just rhyme it, go on.
I'm a singer, but how good a singer is maybe a different question.
Well, you know, we got tuning, or fix it, I'm sure. I know a few singers. I even used to be a music producer. I'm sure we can get singers. Seize the Night music, I'm telling you, Emma, it will be a massive hit. We might even be able to bring it on stage. Rocky, they got Rocky the musical, big in Germany, not so big in America, but hey, you know, they tried.
Yeah, or maybe Seize the Night singing on ice.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's so many avenues you can take it. So now you've come here just for an interview, and now you're walking away thinking, no, there's this avenue.
All these
so much.
ideas.
Never even thought of that. Seize the Night
Exactly.
of the musical on ice. I mean, we've been pretty cold in London these last few months. We just wait a little bit colder, we could do it. Go down the canal, wait for it to freeze over. We could shoot on a cheap. He's got a camera, got some sound, got light. Hey, let's do it tonight. Why not? Let's go crazy. Let's see the night of the musical. The songs might be a bit ropey. But you know what? I'm just stupid. Sorry. Would you have any tips? This is, I mean, because obviously you come through it, and again, this might be a question that you've been asked before. Would you have any tips for aspiring filmmakers?
Yeah, I would. Basically, I would say don't base everything on budget. I mean, I know I did, but I had a very specific kind of film I wanted to make in a very specific kind of way, and you know, it would have been difficult to do it on no budget. It would have taken a lot longer than 10 shooting days. But I would say you can just shoot on anything, depending on the kind of film you want to do. So you could shoot on a mobile.
Which I think there is a film out now, isn't it? It's all shot on an iPhone, isn't it?
Jennifer, I think, and but I think there's a few films out now as well on iPhones and stuff like that. So it is possible to do that. And Island of the Blind Dead, I shot on just a little compact.
But you were on holiday, weren't you? Were you just on holiday and just decided to make this crazy film?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. I mean, this was with fellow filmmaker Merlin Roberts, and he already had the costume because we were going to do a little test shoot. But then there was massive thunderstorms for 3 days, like barely even go outside. So we ended up just writing this short script, and luckily we knew a good friend there. He's in the amateur dramatic group there, and it's a small village, this place in Corfu. But they've got a massive theatre, and they're really, really into the arts. And he got all his amateur dramatics friends to get involved, so that's how the cast came about.
Yeah, no, it's balmy. It's a balmy little trailer.
It was just a smooth shooting in about
but
a day and a half.
It does feel very much like films of that time, you know, like just of that particular type.
Yeah.
It is balmy, but it is a nice location as well.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful there, really beautiful.
Yeah, so moving on. Any questions from the crew?
If there was no budget, what kind of, how would you have done the makeup differently?
I've seen plenty of people, you know, able to train themselves to a good standard.
Maybe a scrubbing brush or something, just to kind of get the effect. Yeah, sorry, just, you know,
maybe not do it for real.
No, maybe not. Maybe
you know, there are tricks
suggesting that at all.
Latex and toilet paper and things like that.
But I've got to say that the makeup and the teeth are fantastic. You don't get taken out of the film once, which is obviously a danger when you're making it at a low budget. But no, it's really good. Ivan, sound?
Would you do theatre? Would you go into theatre?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why not?
It's a totally different ball game. Are you talking from an acting perspective or directing theatre?
I would prefer you act in it, maybe sing, and then maybe go into the directing side at a later date. Like, give yourself a 3-year plan.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I mean, the thing about acting in film is that if you fluff things, you can just reshoot, you know. But if you're acting on stage, there's not much opportunity, or you've got to really recover that quickly.
Yeah.
I think the closest
stage is scary.
No, the closest I've come to that is dancing to Sex Bomb, dressed as a witch, in front of about 600 people. Yeah, because I got put up to that.
That's it. That's the
closest.
On ice.
Yeah.
We've got this wrapped up. Antoine. Antoine's our French cameraman. He's French. Listen to him. He's got a French accent and everything.
Hola.
Bonjour. Just a question about your casting. How did you cast your actor? How did you choose him? How did you meet him? Or how did he work?
I'm sorry, who did I?
How did you meet your character, the main character, the man character? The man.
Oh, Tobias.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lovely Carey. I already knew Carey actually, and that was again through Merlin's film because Carey was in it. I just stole his actors basically.
Okay, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't leave them lying around.
Yeah. So no, I already knew Carey, so and I knew he could act. So.
And what about the rest of the cast? What about the rest of the cast? How did you get them?
I knew most of them already, and some of them had acted before, and some of them hadn't. But some of the people in it were cosplayers. So part of what they do anyway is acting, because they go around in character and all that kind of stuff.
Did they bring their own costumes as well?
Yeah, well, yeah, they did. I mean, I bought some bits and pieces for it, and other bits and pieces, you know, people already had, or you know, they bought for it and stuff. So, but yeah. So that's how I met most of them, and then I met Mark Sears. Just online, he approached me, and Anthony Eilert from Wrong Turn 6. I met him because I'd interviewed him at Fright Fest for my little web show thing that I'd done, and he approached me for a part, so I was pretty chuffed with that because obviously, you know, he's been the lead in a Hollywood film and stuff, so yeah, it was really good.
It's worked out really well. No, it's a good film. So what's the next project for you? Is it going to be, you're just going to chase Season Night Tour, or have you got something else lined up?
I want to. I feel I should probably do something different in between, and it'll give me a bit more breathing space to actually start, you know, planning budgets and stuff a little better for the second part. Or feature or TV series if someone wants to fund me lots of money. Yeah. So yeah, I've got about 3 different ideas. So one of those will come to fruition. I also already have a script for something else that's complete, and I've got it's not my video, but it's basically a video from a band called the Heretic Order that I co-directed with somebody else and edited and stuff, and that's coming out, I believe, in February. Fingers crossed. And that's, again, I can't say it's not my project, so I can't talk too much about it, but it's in the same sort of vein as Island of the Blind Dead in terms of that sort of imaging.
Barking nuts then, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it's pretty good. But, yeah.
Cool. Right, well, I mean, we're being charged by the hour here, so we've got to get out soon. But thanks so much for joining me. I just felt like we could chat more, but we've got to cut short. She's
thanks
nice
for
and
having
interesting.
me.
No, thanks for coming along. It's been really nice, and we look forward to seeing what else you come up with.
Thanks
I'm sure
very
there's going to be loads and more Seas tonight. What's going to happen with this when it's done the festival circuit? You're going to release it?
Yeah, I'm going to release it. I think just direct to web for everyone to see.
Yeah, so if you can catch it, on the festival circuit, please do it. So it's a great film. You're a great talent, so it'd be really nice to see more of this, see more of you. And if you don't catch it on the festival circuit, keep your eyes out, keep your ears to the ground, and hopefully it will be at an internet website near you very soon. Thanks very much for joining us, Emma. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Woo!